Well, we might discuss some of those issues just now because Matthew Elliott has joined me here outside the Houses of Parliament. He was Chief Strategist of the Vote Leave campaign and is now a Senior Fellow at the Legatum Institute. Matthew, welcome. How do you mark today? What does it mean for you?
It's a huge day, a really historic day, and it feels like we're finally on that process of now leaving the EU. What really struck me from the PM's statement when she said how we were leaving the European Union, not leaving Europe. And that was a really important point to me because it shows we still want to cooperate and trade with other European member states who won't be part of that political entity.
It's one heck of a process though, isn't it, to go through now?
It is. It'll be an exciting 2 years ahead of us. It's a challenge. It will be a challenge, but I actually think the process could be simpler than what people think. So I think that the point is we now have perfectly free trade between the UK and the rest of the single market. So actually coming up with a trade deal should be relatively straightforward compared to other trade deals where you have lots of process in terms of agreeing regulations and agreeing how to harmonise things. So things should be straightforward if both sides realise it's actually a win-win situation on hand.
Well, you referenced Theresa May's statement, I think, and we've all been poring over the letter that she's written to Donald Tusk. Very striking, though, that reference in terms of trade, saying if we don't get a deal, we will revert to using WTO rules, but then goes on to talk about the issue of security, almost tying those issues together. Is that your take? Is that how you read that paragraph that she's saying we want this trade situation to work because, bear in mind, we really need to all concentrate on security?
I think it's right that the Prime Minister made it perfectly clear that no deal is better than a bad deal. That has to be the bottom line in any negotiation. You have to say you'll be willing to walk away from the table if you don't get the deal you want. She had to make that perfectly clear. When it came to security and intelligence, I think about the Lancaster House speech where she made the point that actually as a European country on the continent of Europe, with the biggest armed forces, with the best intelligence services, we will continue to cooperate with other member states, and I'm sure we'll do that.
You are fantastically positive about what's to come, and I would expect that. I'm really interested just in practical terms where you see any problem areas, just simply because the sheer scale of what is about to be undertaken is so enormous, isn't it? And do we have enough negotiators? Do we have enough legal minds to make this happen within the 2 years? Just the practicalities of it.
Well, I think it's very good that we waited 9 months before triggering it. There's some people who said we should trigger it literally the day after the referendum. But I think it's really taken that 9 months to actually build up the Department for International Trade and build up the Department for Exiting the EU, to actually work out the right strategy and what our objectives should be. So we've done all the preparation very, very carefully. So I think we're now well positioned to do a good negotiation.
And does it mean, do you think there's any risk that what we might think of as the regular domestic agenda will be largely on the back burner because the sheer scale of what is ahead is so enormous that dealing with health and education and transport and all the other issues that a government is of course elected to deal with, that, by definition, it's going to take a back seat.
It is a lot for the government to deal with, that's true, but I think the Prime Minister was right when she said how this is not just about the European Union, it's also about the domestic agenda. We need to have a new policy for things like infrastructure spending within the UK, have the best educated people in the UK, to have a new migration policy for the UK. It's not just our relationship with the EU.
How quickly will this country feel different, do you think? Will it feel the way you wanted it to when you voted on June the 23rd?
I think there's a slight spring in our step already. I think we've actually shown that by taking back control, as we said in the campaign, we are an independent country again. And I think it's given us a bit of self-confidence on the world stage. You know, no longer do we have to hide behind the European Union when it comes to international negotiations. As the 5th largest economy and the #1 for soft power, we can actually be a confident, independent nation.
Really good to talk to you. Thank you very much, Matthew Elliott. Good to see you from the Legatum Institute. Thank you very much for now.